All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next issue of our webinar series, Ready, Set, Connect. We're going to be covering ProjectSight specifically, Trimble's project management tool. And today we're going to cover how it interacts with digital scans, laser scans, 3D models, and how this all can work together with project management, and more importantly, how that all can seamlessly flow back into your ERP for anything that's cost related, has a financial impact. All right, before we get started, a few things. We've got the interface here with our webinar, so you can ask questions in the question box. You can see the slides, or you can see my screen in a little bit, and you can click on those individual modules to increase their size so you can see things a little bit better. All right. So who am I? Why am I talking to you? I'm Dave Thomas. I'm a ProjectSight specialist here at Trimble Viewpoint. Came from the industry, was a civil engineer many moons ago, but I've been over here at Trimble Viewpoint now for 3.5 years. I've been on the solution side of the business and construction tech for about a decade now. So I'll hand it off to my counterpart, Rob, let him introduce himself, and we'll get rolling.
Thanks, Dave. Hey, everyone. Rob Filer here again with Trimble Viewpoint. Here to present ProjectSight to you. Right? So like Dave, I come from the industry, commercial electrical background. I went to the GC side of the house and left there as a PM. So we've both used platforms like this. We've done the things that you're about to see us demonstrate. So that's what makes us, good at showing this stuff, because usually on our day-to-day, Dave and I are out here fighting with our teams internally to get you guys the functionality that we know you need. Right, so happy to show that to you here today.
All right, so with the topic we're covering here today, got to set the table and set the groundwork for what we're going to show you. We've got the full suite of products here at Trimble, solutions that get everything done from design, and you'll see all the way down to the end point over on the far right, financial management over in the ERP and accounting. What is the kind of the glue, the connective tissue, the backbone, whatever you want to call it, that holds this whole system together is Connect, Trimble Connect. It's a file management system. It's also a great 3D model viewer, and it does a ton more. We're going to get into that in some good detail here today. So just think, when we're talking solutions, Connect isn't a separate solution. It's embedded into these items you're seeing here. All right, first workflow we're going to cover, a quick overview. We're going to get over on the layout side, show you all how Connect works with a robotic total station to capture layout points, capture deviations from design, how you can output a report, share that, not just have that live out in that solution, but how Connect can then bring that into the project management workflows, and you can share that with the rest of the team. How that information might become a PCO over in ProjectSight, and how you link all these elements together so you don't lose anything along the way. Second workflow we're going to touch on is a pretty new one that allows you to scan to model out in the field. You'll see on the far left we have a Trimble tablet alongside a Trimble scanner. I think it's the X7 that did this. So you're actually able to process a laser scan on that tablet, no post-processing, right? So you're not having to go back to the office, and you see a visual heat map on there that in that screen you'll see showing you deviations from design. So pretty cool stuff. That's pretty groundbreaking. That's great in and of itself, but what we want to touch on is how that then can connect into ProjectSight and feed your PM workflows. Anything I missed, Rob? I think we're ready to get going in a minute.
No, I think you're good. The real takeaways here is that, whether you're using these workflows or not today, right, a lot of this stuff is coming down the pike in the future, right? A lot of these builders, a lot of these architects, engineers are now, government work, forget about it. This is all workflows that are going to be required in the next 5 to 10 years, right? And Trimble is already ahead of the curve. We're already doing this stuff as Dave's about to show you. So, Take it away, Dave.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, you want to have your eyes on it. Even if it's not something you guys are heavy into now, you probably are hearing grumblings, getting into it a little bit. All right, let's get rolling. We don't have too much time. Want to make the best use. Rob, can you see my screen okay?
I'm just looking at the demo slide right now. Oh, I think it's up. I think it's up, Dave. You're good.
Okay, excellent. So want to start on that first workflow, the one where we're doing some layout, how that visually looks, and then we're going to highlight how that can flow back into not just ProjectSight, but then back into the ERP. So going into 3 levels deep here. So I'm starting off, I'm over in Connect. So this is a browser-based viewer here. We've also got mobile and an even more firepower Windows-based installation to do different levels of detail here. But we're in the browser, which doesn't require any installations of really anything. Browser just lets you view. So you're seeing the interface that's built for builders, right? I want to highlight that. We do. That's what we specialize in at Trimble, right? The builder's experience. So you're going to see an interface and tools here that are trimmed down for just what you need, not a bunch of design tools that we're not doing. What you're also seeing is some point layout. So these green check marks, visually seeing which points you've laid out. I've got a SketchUp model in the background just to give us some points of reference. But green's laid out, gray's not done yet. And then if you saw red X, that means the layout's out of tolerance and probably needs some attention. In addition to that, we've got these data tables. So I built this data table just by dragging and dropping these columns. And here, this layout file, which is the points, that green check and the gray circles, this is the data backing it up. So I've got 885 of them, and I can break it out by how many I've laid out, how many I have left to go. And then if I scroll down, I think I've got a few that have been laid out, and we can see here's some measured point coordinates, so we can see how far out of tolerance they are, and you can adjust that tolerance. So that green check mark, whether it's a green or it turns to red X, you're going to be able to define in the system how much out of tolerance would warrant a red check or a red X there. All right, so we've laid out points. We've got something maybe that needs attention. How can this flow back into ProjectSight and then into the ERP? So we want to highlight that workflow there. What we're able to do in this viewer here is take a snapshot, number one, from the model, name it. Let's say it's a layout issue. Needs attention. And so this is going to create a view. So the specific location in the model here, in the points, you'll see there's a preview of it. And that's saving to Connect. So remember, Connect's the file system. Whether we're talking about point layout, we're talking about ProjectSight, that's the file system where we're feeding everything into. All right, so I saved that view. I can then jump over to ProjectSight. So I just, for time's sake, just hopped right into ProjectSight. We're going to create an issue around this. I've got one kind of preloaded. I'll double click, take me full screen. And you'll see issue started. Do we need a change order for this? Already assigned myself and Rob on here, urgent. Now let's show you how that workflow all connects. Let's bring in, there's that layout issue I just took that snapshot of. I'm going to link it, as well as maybe a photo in the field, maybe a PDF or something else. And now that's going to live on forever with this issue. I'm going to save it. Now we can run this to ground, make sure that we get the right eyes on it, make sure we get, this doesn't get lost in the shuffle. If it's a Friday at 4 p.m., right, we're going to be able to get it into the issue log and get emails out. So emails went out to me and Rob to get this taken care of. All right, let's say, how's this flow? How's this impact the financials, the ERP? Let's say this gets escalated, we close it out, but it's needs a change order now, right? So we can go tie a change order to it. Maybe we have one that's already started, a PCO here. We'll pick one just for time's sake. This is not the relevant one, but we'll say now there's a change order associated with this. And we'll go into PCOs just to take a look. PCOs. A couple things to note as I'm navigating. ProjectSight's designed to get you anywhere you need to go within 2 or 3 clicks. That's what that side menu helps with. You're not having to go through 5 different steps, because people have to go through 5 steps. They're not going to do it, right? We've heard that. We hear that all the time. All right, so now that change order that we linked to, I think it was this one. Now, once we get approval on this change order, we get the right eyes on it. We have the back and forth. We price it out. When it's ready, approved to get it gets signed off on, you'll see we got a status to push that back to Viewpoint Vista for a Spectrum customer. When the Spectrum connection is going to go live very shortly, it's going to be Spectrum. What are you doing here? Why does this matter? Well, no double data entry, right? You're entering the PCO, the dollars in once. There's no opportunity to miss a zero, add too many. And also we've got that backwards story, that breadcrumb trail leading back to the origins. Layout to issue to PCO to impacting your financial tables over in accounting. All right. Anything I missed, Rob? We're covering a lot of ground. We're gonna go really quick, but I think this is a pretty good showing of something that Trimble really specializes in. This is what we pride ourselves on.
This is it. This is the connected construction and action. So no, I don't think you missed anything, Dave. Keep cruising, man.
Awesome. All right, so next one's going to be pretty similar. I don't have a live shot of it to show you, but just to give you a little closer look at that scan to model heat map. This is just a screenshot from one of our control tablets with the scanner, with the X7. But you'll see the tolerances are set. Red's going to be at least, or it looks like it's more than 2 inches out of tolerance. And then we've got gradients. Green is within these two here. And so it's color coded, lets you see a visual representation in the field. Just scanned it, not having to go back to the office, driving a truck, back to the trailer or wherever our project office is. We're just doing this in the field. So now we scanned. That can flow via field link directly into Connect. So we're not having to even put this on a thumb drive. We can have it sync so that this tablet is set to sync at 5 o'clock every single day. So whether or not our field guy doing the scan remembers to sync it up, it's going to automatically pull any files from this tablet, push it over to the cloud into Connect, where it can be available to everybody on the project and ProjectSight. But with this one, so same kind of deal. That scan would then go into over here into the viewer in Connect, and we could get a view of it, take the same snapshot, and then tie that snapshot back into, let's say, directly into a PCL. Let's say we found something really urgent. We want to go straight to a change order. We're going right in here, straight over to ProjectSight, originating a change order. Let's say wall, 3 inch plus out of tolerance. Maybe this is something that we did, so we might have to do an internal change for this one, but let's just create it, get it going, get some basic estimate numbers in here. and we tie in that connect view. So going right to that scan. So if anybody else comes in here, they know exactly what the issue is, exactly where it is, and the origin story is going to be there for as long as this project exists. Let's say it's that one. So visual. So when someone else, let's say I started this, kicked it off to Rob, when Rob comes in here, he's going to be able to click on that, come into ProjectSight, click on that, go right to the location. This isn't the scan to model we showed. This is just looks like an MEP coordinated model, but let's say it was in relation to that duct right there. Now Rob knows exactly where that is, can check it out in the field, on his tablet, on his phone, kind of connecting the dots, connecting the whole workflow here.
Nice. Now, Dave, what happens if I receive a notification about this record type? Is it going to show me this?
Yeah, so what that's going to do, if you get a notification, Rob can jump in here. He can just respond to that email. That email then populate in ProjectSight right in the back and forth, the comment string.
Because it's going to have it as a PDF as well, right? It's going to pull that link together.
Yeah, we've got multiple ways to get it out to you. So you can also follow the link and just come right in here directly to the PCO, the issue, and then follow the linking all the way here.
Nice. So when you're assigned an issue in ProjectSight, folks, you receive an email notification. Now that email notification is going to have the links to everything, but then it's also going to pull it out as a PDF, as a copy, right? So what that means is that, when you're assigning tasks out in ProjectSight, people don't have to go into ProjectSight to be able to see those record types, right? So a very useful workflow, particularly when we're talking about, third-party users who may not want to interact with your project management solution. Right?
All right, so those were the big ones I wanted to cover. We've got a little extra time, so I was hoping we'd be able to get to this. This is something you probably usually don't want to do on live demo, but I think it's going to give you guys a good picture of what it's actually like to use these solutions live. So bear with me as we dive into another area, another really cool new solution we have called Trimble AR. We're focusing on ProjectSight here today. Trimble AR doesn't come with ProjectSight, but it enhances the workflows we're talking about here. So I'm going to pull up my iPad Pro. I'm going to mirror in. I'm going through a mirroring software, which is going through a webinar, which I'm pretty certain it might not show nice and smooth. On your end, just know that when I'm looking at my screen here, I've got a nice clean visual of this of my room here. So what we want to highlight here, I've got a PDF of the 2D plan, which I placed it a little high, but I just want to give you guys the visual look at what it looks like. I'm setting the transparency down. So if I'm walking a job, I can actually see walls overlaying right onto the model. I placed this one in one location, but you can use the QR codes to place the actual model. So these are the 2D plans, but what about the 3D model, right? We've got a 3D model loaded in Connect. I got this up. Let's turn the visual on. And get my model going. Oh, so I gotta load it.
It's definitely a little slow, Dave, but it's working.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it's not going to be perfect.
There's a lot of lag. There you go.
Okay. And so now I've got my 2D plan down. I've got a model for this one. So if I look up, there's my model. I can tap on these model elements and get details, right? Gives me the summary, the attributes. I'm looking at a pipe here, the volume, all the properties. And I can do some measurements as well.
Very cool. This would have been very handy a few years ago when I was laying out commercial interiors and trying to describe how big the room would be.
Right.
Yeah. So a little bit easier for you. All right, Dave, we're just looking at your desktop background.
Okay. Let me get back on here. But, kind of not just showing you a really cool tool, but, how does this connect back into what we're talking about here today? Well, that solution, Trimble AR, pulls right from Connect. So if our drawing files are over here in Connect from ProjectSight, then we're pulling the current drawing set from there. We're pulling the model, which is already loaded into Connect. So we're two solutions looking at the same files, right? We're not going to look at the out-of-date model, right? If we're all working off the same file, they're not two different locations of the same file. It's one file we're tracking to, which is pretty cool stuff. All right, we somehow got that in with perfect timing. We're right up against the end. I think the one thing I wanted to mention before we left you guys, I don't think we're going to have time for questions, but we do want to highlight the upcoming webinars. Last week's is going to be on demand. I hope you guys are seeing my screen. I should stop sharing here. No distractions. Okay. So Rob, are you seeing the slide, right? The upcoming webinars? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. So want to draw your eye back to the slides here. I really want to highlight this April 27th one. We're going to talk about Rivet's CDX, Common Data Exchange. This is really cool stuff. So what that is a connector between ProjectSight and if you're a sub, connector between that and the GC's instance of Procore. So this is a new connector. We're talking RFIs originating out in ProjectSight, getting kicked over to the GC's Procore, answered, and then kicked back automatically to ProjectSight. Same with submittals.
That's right. Yep. So, we don't want to hear any more of that, oh, well, everyone's used to seeing it this way. That's great to a certain degree, but are you going, is that how you're going to be affecting your business model, right? Are you going to be doing that? Because the GC is not even going to be seeing your submittals if you're working it. You're going to have to be working theirs regardless. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have your own records, right? That doesn't mean that your guys don't need their own device out there in the field, recording their submittals, recording RFIs, looking at your drawings, keeping your annotations, doing your own daily reports, right? You don't have to pay twice as much or be beholden to, the highest cost in the industry for project management just because that's what someone else is using, right? So Trimble is really hearing our customers' concerns as far as that, and we're lowering the barrier to entry for a sophisticated project management solution.
Yeah, and Rob's really hitting the nail on the head there because
do I sound like
you?
Is it a sensitive topic? Does it sound like it's a sensitive topic? Because it's a sensitive topic for me, right? Well,
it's personal. I can sense a little bit there.
Some personal baggage associated with that, right? When I worked for a GC, we used Procore, right? And when COVID hit, those costs, those Procore costs, they really hurt the business. They really hurt the business. And at the time, we didn't have an option. There's options out there in the industry. ProjectSight is there. It connects to Procore if someone else is using it. It connects to the ERPs. It connects to Trimble Connect, right? All of these things, right, that are required for project manager platforms is offered through here, through ProjectSight, right? So please, you owe it to yourself. Ask the question, get with your reps, ask Dave, ask myself, hey, does it do this? Does it do that? Is it a replacement for this? How much does it cost? Right? You owe it to yourself. I'll get off my soapbox now, Dave. Back
I love
to you.
it. I love it. No,
Sorry,
it's
I'm a little
perfect.
fired up over
A
here.
little fired up. Hey, it's for good reason. For good reason, right? But yeah, that's it. That Rob just summed it up. That's what we're doing here, connecting it all, and in a solution that's fair and equitable, right? It's getting you everything you need. It's not breaking the bank.
That's right.
All right, there's our emails. There's an underscore between our first and last names there. It's Dave_Thomas, Rob_Filer. You can reach out to us directly. We'll find the right folks here. If you're a current customer, reach out to your rep. They will get the right team together, get us, either me and Rob, on there, and we'll get those questions answered for you. But I really appreciate you all spending the time with us today. Please join us for the future webinars, and we'll keep this series rolling.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.